Best friend is trapped in a loan shark's web of debt and desperation. Before I start, I would love to say that I am giving away $100 to the best response to this story, so make sure you listen to the end because it has to be a response regarding the story, otherwise it doesn't count. I put all of the rules in the comment section on how to apply for the giveaway. The giveaway announcement is going to be on 18th of August. Why? Because it's my birthday. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you want future giveaways, the more this channel grows, the more I can give back to all of you lovely people. Now moving on to the story. It all started innocently enough. My best friend Zebulon, Zeb, and I were hanging out at our favorite dive bar, the Rusty Anchor. We've been best friends since high school, and he's always been the fun-loving, carefree type. That night, Zeb was his usual self, cracking jokes and buying rounds. But something felt off. "Hey Zeb, where'd you get the cash for all these drinks?" I asked, half joking. Zeb had a history of being broke. He shrugged and smirked. "I got a little lucky at the casino last week. Nothing to worry about, Remington." I knew Zeb liked to gamble, but this was new. He was throwing money around like it was water. "Dude, are you sure you're not getting in over your head?" Zeb laughed it off. "Come on, Remy, relax, it's all good. I just hit a hot streak, that's all." I didn't push it. Zeb was a grown man. He could handle his own business. But the way he brushed off my concern nagged at me. A few weeks later, Zeb and I were at our regular Saturday night poker game with some of the guys from the neighborhood. Zeb was on a losing streak, and it wasn't long before he started to get desperate. He kept doubling down, trying to win back what he lost. At one point, Zeb threw his hands up and said, "All right, I'm out of cash, but I'm good for it. Just lend me some more and I'll pay you back double." The guys laughed, thinking it was all in good fun. But Zeb wasn't laughing. He looked serious, almost desperate. Finally, one of the guys, Vic, leaned in and said, "Zeb, man, you gotta know when to fold. You're digging yourself a hole." Zeb's face turned red, and he snapped, "I know what I'm doing. I just need one good hand to turn it around." The room got quiet. It was clear Zeb was in deeper than any of us realized. After the game, I pulled him aside. "Zeb, what the hell is going on? You're not acting like yourself." He sighed and looked away. "I've been having some bad luck, that's all. I owe some money, but it's nothing I can't handle." "Who do you owe money to?" I asked, feeling a pit form in my stomach. Zeb hesitated, then mumbled, "Some guys. It's not a big deal." I pressed him, but he wouldn't say more. I knew then that Zeb was in trouble. A few days later, Zeb showed up at my apartment looking like he hadn't slept in days. He was jittery and kept glancing over his shoulder. "Remy, I need your help," he said, his voice cracking. "What's going on?" I asked, pulling him inside. Zeb took a deep breath and said, "I owe a lot of money to this guy, Vito. He's a loan shark. I thought I could pay him back with my winnings, but I've just been losing more. Now I'm in way over my head." I felt my blood run cold. Vito was notorious in our neighborhood for being ruthless. If Zeb owed him money, he was in serious danger. "How much do you owe him?" Zeb looked down and whispered, 30 grand. 30 grand? I shouted. "Zeb, how did you get yourself into this?" He ran his hands through his hair, looking miserable. "I thought I could win it back. I didn't think it would get this bad." We both sat in silence for a while. Then Zeb said, "I need to disappear for a while. Can you help me?" I knew hiding from Vito wouldn't work, but I also knew I couldn't let Zeb face this alone. "All right, we'll figure something out. But you can't just run. We need a plan." Over the next few days, we tried to come up with a plan. We considered everything from selling off Zeb's stuff to asking family for help, but nothing was enough to cover the debt. Then Zeb came up with a desperate idea. He wanted to rob a local convenience store. I was horrified. "Zeb, that's insane! You'll get caught, and then what? You'll go to jail?" He looked at me with wild eyes. "I don't see any other way, Remy. I'm out of options. If I don't pay Vito, he's going to kill me." I tried to talk him out of it, but he was determined. "Just be the lookout," he begged. "I'll do the rest. Please, Remy, you're my only friend. I need you." Against my better judgment, I agreed. The plan was simple. Zeb would go in, grab the cash, and we'd split. I waited outside, heart pounding, as Zeb went in. Minutes felt like hours. Then I heard shouting and gunshots. I froze, panic flooding my system. Zeb burst out of the store, blood on his shirt. "Go, go, go!" he screamed. I jumped into the car and we sped off. We hid out at an old cabin Zeb's uncle owned in the woods. Zeb was in bad shape. He'd been shot in the arm. I tried to bandage him up as best I could. "What the hell happened?" I asked, my voice shaking. Zeb winced. "The clerk had a gun. I panicked and... Shit, Remy, I think I killed him." My stomach turned. "We have to go to the police," I said, my voice barely a whisper. Zeb grabbed my arm, eyes wild with fear. "No. If we go to the cops, Vito will find us. We have to lay low, figure out a new plan." I was terrified. We were both in way over our heads. The next few days were a blur of fear and guilt. We heard on the radio that the clerk had died, and they were looking for us. We knew it was only a matter of time before the police or Vito caught up with us. In the end, it was Vito who found us. He showed up at the cabin with a couple of his goons. Zeb tried to run, but they grabbed him. Vito looked at me with cold eyes. "You're lucky you're not the one who owes me, kid." "But you," he said, turning to Zeb, "you're gonna pay." They took Zeb away, and I never saw him again. The cops found me a few hours later, hiding in the woods. I told them everything. Zeb was charged with robbery and murder. He got 20 years in prison. Update. It's been a year since that night. I've been trying to put my life back together, but it's hard. I still have nightmares about the robbery and the look on Zeb's face when Vito took him away. I visit Zeb in prison sometimes. He's a shell of the person he used to be. He doesn't talk much, just stares at the wall. I think he's broken. A few weeks ago, I got a letter from Zeb. He said he's trying to make amends, working with a counselor in prison. He apologized for dragging me into his mess and said he's working on a plan to pay Vito back somehow. I don't know if that's possible, but I hope he finds some peace. I'm trying to move forward with my life. I'm going back to school, trying to get a degree. It's not easy, but it helps to keep busy. I still think about Zeb a lot, and I wish things had turned out differently, but I've learned some hard lessons about loyalty and responsibility. I just hope that someday Zeb can find a way to forgive himself, and maybe we can both find some kind of redemption. That's it, I guess. I just needed to get this off my chest. Thanks for listening.